I would say don't let the fact that you are not an expert in human rights or that you can't see where your field fits in with human rights stop you from exploring opportunities. So it's more a matter of looking for the opportunities to use whatever skills you have, even if they're not your particular scientific subdiscipline.
For those who are interested in, those who are scientists, I would probably say don't be afraid to try. Don't think of human rights and environmental rights as something that's unattainable, like, oh, that's not my space. What can I possibly have to offer? There's a lot you have to offer. Don't think of those spaces as spaces that are inaccessible to you simply because you're not an expert, right? I mean, things like food security, we can all relate to that. We can all relate to wanting to protect our water. We can all relate to looking at the Amazon burn in Brazil and having, feeling the heart-wrenching pain of all of that and wanting to get involved in some way. And so I would say just, be driven by what's pulling at your heartstrings, but don't assume that you don't have anything to offer to these spaces, because you really do.
My general advice would be to get to know some of the practitioners in the field of human rights, advocacy, and humanitarian relief. Get to understand the practical problems that they are dealing with every day, the kinds of technologies and sciences that they're drawing upon to try and address some of those problems, and then to pay attention to the kind of data that those methods are producing.
And I think especially for young people, early career scholars, grad students, etc., I think it's really important to remember that you don't have to do it all by yourself, that there are people who can help you, there are people who have figured things out, who can give you advice. And I think if one is in a position to be a sort of mentor to younger people, they should really take it if they can, because it can be really empowering to see a trailblazing person, doing all the great things, and to have someone to look up to.
One thing I would recommend to young scientists who want to get into this is get out in the field. Get as much experience working with taking samples, environmental monitoring, analyzing the samples or arranging to have them analyzed, working with the community, and just get out there. We need the data scientists, we need the economists, but for the natural scientists, working in the field and getting experience, firsthand experience, getting your hands dirty, working with the water, I think is really important.
Working in the science policy world and in the science and human rights world, a lot of it is about connecting with people, building relationships, exchanging information, and just absorbing a lot of information, and then helping to identify points of intersection and places where you can kind of leverage what you bring to the table.
Coming to these coalition meetings are really beneficial for kind of opening up your eyes to new possibilities and just learning about what others are doing. I come to these meetings a lot thinking, oh, I don't necessarily see how that's maybe gonna affect physics or my organization, but I always learn something. I always learn something valuable. Just come and meet other fellow scientists that you can work with, human rights practitioners, and really let them help teach you what you might be able to do and help you see where the connections are, even if you don't see them yourself.
Just let your curiosity and your interests drive you, and the world will open to meet them.